Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Decided I talked about before doing some more random live streams at a little bit later time, so I figured tonight was the perfect night. It's 8:45 p.m. where I'm at on a Thursday, so I figured I'd do another live stream. We can talk about whatever. I have really, I just threw together a quick title and description, but honestly, this is more of just you guys submit questions, ask whatever, and we talk about it. I put a couple things in the title that we can obviously talk about, but even if I need to after the stream, I will tweak the title a little bit. Right now, I put in the title Best Fights of 2021. I just released a video, My Favorite Fights of 2021. So if you haven't watched that yet, go watch that after this live chat. After you're done joining me here, go watch that. I want to hear what your guys' favorite fights are of 2021, especially the UFC fights. UFC 273 is being targeted for the Barclays Center in New York. We can talk about that, and I have a good idea what'll be the main, probably, but maybe the co-main. Talk a little bit about Jon Jones moving to heavyweight. And also, I put Tony Ferguson's next opponent. Everyone loves to talk about Tony Ferguson. Everyone is dying to know what is next for Tony Ferguson. Who is Tony Ferguson fighting next? That is probably the number one question I've been asked. Everyone literally is in love with Tony Ferguson. I mean, how can you not love the guy? The guy is just a phenomenal fighter. He's on a bad losing streak right now, but everyone wants to see him return. Everyone loves watching him fight, so I also threw that in the title. But we can literally talk about whatever you want. This is going to be a more relaxed stream. I mean, every stream is really relaxed on the channel, but I don't really care too much what we talk about. Honestly, we can talk about whatever. I've been trying to mix up the timings of the stream. Usually I do it 6 p.m. Eastern time, but a couple people told me they're on the West Coast, would like it a little bit later. And so here we are. We're a little bit later. It's almost 9 o'clock where I'm at, so be close to 6 o'clock on the West Coast. If you guys haven't already, like the stream. If you're watching, I'm sure you probably already subscribed because we just started. But if you're not, go subscribe and turn on notifications. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers. I try to tell you how many subscribers we have on the stream. We have 1,883 subscribers. So we are 117 subscribers away from 2,000. Absolutely insanity. I cannot believe it. Never expected to be this far as my channel went. I told you guys this a million times. I mean this. I would have been surprised to have 500 by the end of this year. And I can't believe that I have almost 2,000. So, okay, let's look at the chat. What's up, Niles Rodriguez? Appreciate you, man. I'm glad I decided to do another one too. I'm glad you are here. Appreciate you. What is up, Blaze One Sports? Appreciate you very much. Gaichi beat him so bad I don't want to see him return. Come on now, man. Come on now. Everyone else wants to see Tony Ferguson return. They want to see him return in a fan-friendly matchup. aka we don't want to see him return against someone who's really just going to take him down and grind him out and look to make a name off of him. I like Ponzinibbio versus Baeza and Grant versus Vera. Hard for me to remember all the good fights, though. Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, I had a hard time making my list, but I love those fights as well. For me, and I say this in the video, and you'll have to check out the video after the stream if you haven't already checked it out. But for me, one of the most important things, just for me personally, in deciding, what was the best fight, is there has to be relevant implications on the division. If we just see two, I don't want to say random guys, but two relatively unknown guys who really don't, a lot of people don't expect a lot out of them, and they're just kind of fighting on the prelims, and it's a crazy war battle. It's not the same for me. It's really not. When I see a fight, I like to look at where they're going to go from here, their career trajectory, and what questions do I want answered about their skill set. And for me, when you just have two, I like it occasionally. Don't get me wrong. I like it occasionally when guys just go out there and slug it out. But for me, it's more of high level technical ability mixed with a little bit of brawling in there, and relevant within the division, whether it be two amazing looking prospects, whether it be an interim title fight, whether it be a title fight, whether it be a number one contender fight. Those are the fights that truly get me excited. And if they're not there, it's just hard for me to really get super pumped about it, just because there's no implications on it. You know, you guys, I'm sure, and this is, maybe this is fair, maybe this isn't, but I'm sure you guys have watched a title fight that's been a little bit boring, but it's more exciting just because we know the high stakes, and that's exactly why you can't, or at least I can't, watch a fight that's not live. Like, even if you don't know the result, it's like, it's ruined. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still rewatch fights, but I couldn't miss a live fight, avoid the result, and then watch the replay. I could not do that just because it ruins that aspect of excitement. And for me, I need a high-level fight that means a lot within the division, or in, the grand scheme of things, whatever it may be. It's just what I need for it to be on my list. And, I hope all you guys, anyone who's watching this live stream, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're watching live right now, make sure, do me a favor, go check out that video when this live stream is over. I would greatly appreciate it. I just put it out before I started the stream, and then I said, you know what? I promised these guys some more streams, some more random streams in the future, and I haven't done a random stream at this time of night since, I think it was the middle of November, so it's the end of December, so I figured I'd throw one out there. In the future, I think what I'm going to do, I haven't decided yet, and this is a ways away. I don't do a lot of random live streams. I don't do a lot of them. I want to do more of them. In the future, what I might do is, as a membership benefit, these random live streams will be available to everyone, but then after the live stream is over, I'm going to set the privacy to members only. So the members will be able to rewatch the live streams. And if you weren't there live, you won't be able to watch the replay. You'll still be able to watch the regular live stream every Wednesday. You'll be able to watch the live fight watch-alongs. But I'm just trying to add extra benefits in the future. And that's a ways away. It's just an idea I had for the future. Also, guys, if you want to become a member, the link is in the description. Custom emojis, loyalty badges, behind-the-scenes stuff, Discord chat. I post a bunch of stuff in the Discord chat. Everything that I'm ever working on, different thoughts on breaking news as soon as it breaks, all that different types of stuff. And once you become a member and you become part of the members only Discord chat, even if you're not a member, you will never be kicked out of the Discord chat. We talk live during the fights. I really like the Discord chat. It wasn't my idea, but it turned out great. And so if you guys want to become a member, the link is in the description. Let's see. The way Tony shook his head right before the ref stopped it was enough for me. Yeah, that did suck, man. That sticks in my mind, seeing Tony just that battered. It sucks very, very badly, especially for a fan-friendly guy like Tony Ferguson. And everyone just loves the guy. I mean, I don't ever see anyone saying, I can't stand Tony Ferguson. He's such a bizarre guy, but his fighting style is so exciting, and his personality is so weird. He's a very memorable guy. Fizzy versus Riddell was great as well. Yes, it was very good. That was a very good fight. Cruz versus Nunes was also good. Agreed. There were so many great fights, man. You could have literally made a top 50 of greatest UFC fights alone in 2021. Dober versus Riddell was a fun fight. Agreed. That one's probably a little bit lower out of the ones you guys mentioned. Fizzy versus Bobby Green was fun too. The third round of Fizzy versus Bobby Green was incredible. Absolutely incredible. What's up, French fries? Hope you're doing well. Adesanya versus Whitaker 2 prediction. Oh man, I reserved my right to change my mind later in the year or later in next year. But I'm probably going with Israel Adesanya. I'm actually going to make a video either tonight or tomorrow, and it'll be out tomorrow or Saturday, and it'll be titled something along the lines of every UFC champion who will lose their belt in 2022, and I'll try to predict what UFC champions will lose their belt in 2022. And a lot of people, I put out a poll. A lot of people will, seems to want that video. Some streams are already not saved. I've never privated a stream. So every live stream should be available right now on my channel. It's just in the future when I do more random live streams, In the future, I'm going to try to do like at least 2 random live streams a week, and then everyone will be able to watch them live, but then I'll just set them to members only after the fact, just to give the members an extra benefit. And it's not really hurting anyone, because I'll still be doing my Wednesday weekly live chat, which will never go private, and my fight watch alongs, which will never go private. It'll just be the random live streams that go to members only. But every live stream I've done, that's still a ways away, but every live stream that I've done so far is available at public on the channel, even from the very beginning. I know a lot of people, when they start a channel and they start to have a little bit of success, they go back and delete videos or private videos. Everything I've done is out there. I mean, there's nothing, I'm not going to go and hide stuff. Do you think Max beats Volk and they have to do a 4th fight? Maybe we could get Giga versus Jair. Oh man, if Max beats Volk, I don't think there's going to be an appetite for a 4th fight, honestly. You know, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed those fights, but to the masses and to a large portion of the hardcores, they didn't think they were particularly exciting. And then you have these controversial decisions. What if you do a 4th fight and then Volk wins barely again? What are you going to do, a 5th fight? I think the UFC moves on no matter what happens in that 3rd fight. I think that if Volkanovsky barely wins or Max barely wins, I think they move on to another opponent, and maybe they revisit it down the line. But I would love Giga Chacaze versus Jair Rodriguez. Joey, do you know Robert No, I do not. Solik? I don't know. No, I do not. Sounds like a Russian name, but I do not. Oliveira versus Gaichi, early prediction. Probably going with Oliveira. I think Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is just going to be too much for Gaichi. But Oliveira gets hit quite a bit. And I think Gaichi has the biggest power within the division, and he has amazing leg kicks. He might be the guy to put Oliveira away early, and I could change my mind on that, but early prediction, Oliveira by submission. KSW champ. Okay, hold on, let me look him up real quick. KSW. Okay, what about him? I don't think I've ever heard of him. He's got 4 wins, it looks like. Oh, that's boxing, MMA record. He is 17-1. Driscus Duplessis, I think, is a guy I've heard of before. He has a win over. What is he like coming to the UFC? He's 26 years old. Do you think he's ever going to come to the UFC? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know. But now I've heard of him. So, do you think Patrice Pitbull will beat AJ McKee on the rematch? Honestly, I don't think so. I think AJ McKee beats him, and I think Patrice Pitbull released his lightweight title so that AJ McKee didn't come up here and snatch it. But if I'm AJ McKee, I push for the lightweight title against Pitbull's brother. And I can't remember, Patricio, whatever. But whoever's the lightweight champion right now is one of the Pitbull brothers. And if I'm AJ McKee, I push for that fight. Did Jair's stock go up even though he lost to Max? He gave Max a run for his money. 100% his stock went up. No doubt about it. Absolutely. Nobody really gave him a chance in that fight. I thought if he had to win, he was going to have to sleep Max early with like a heavy kick or something. But, you know, he stuck it out. And there's an argument to be made that he won the 5th round, which is insane. I know this sounds crazy. You guys are going to hate me for even saying this out loud. I'm a little bit down on Max after that fight. I mean, he just is constantly taking damage over and over and over again. And I know people were saying it after his last fight. Eventually, it's going to catch up to him. You know, maybe Volk sleeps him in their trilogy. I don't know. I mean, that damage, that accumulation of damage that Max eats, is going to catch up to him. And if he didn't have unlimited cardio, I think he'd be losing a lot of fights. I think his cardio makes up for some of those skill deficits he faces in fights. Again, I've said this before. Without Max Holloway's ungodly cardio, I think Jose Aldo beats him. Hot take. What's up, Keep Out? Hope you're doing well. Don't know if it's true, but I've heard rumors TK is injured, same shoulder injured last time. That sucks. I hope you're wrong on that one. I hope you're wrong on that one. I want to see the Korean Zombie back in action. I want to see the Korean Zombie back in action very, very much. Max Chin might go out soon. Too many wars. Agreed. I really want to see Giga versus Yair, but they push Giga to a title right away. We may never see it. I actually, after yesterday, kind of talking about it a little bit, I really want to see Yair versus Brian Ortega. But I would love Giga versus Yair. I want to see Giga versus Max. I think if Giga beats Calvin Keator impressively, Giga's next in line for a title shot. Hi, what's up, Adam? Hope you're doing well. Padriki Pitbull is the guy you're talking about. Yeah, I mixed whichever one. I don't know, remember which one's which. Which one's the featherweight, which one's the lightweight. But AJ McKee, what a win he had. Hurts him on the feet badly, eventually submits him, if I'm remembering correctly. Am I remembering that correctly? I remember, I definitely watched it. Obviously, I did a live stream for it. But I remember he hurt him badly, but I think the ref didn't stop it, and then he submitted him. Yes, okay, guillotine. Yep, choked him out. But he would have stopped him on the feet if he didn't go for the guillotine either way. If Max wins third fight, in my mind, there needs to be a fourth and final fight. Yeah, and then what happens? Volk wins the fourth fight, and it's close, and it's a controversial decision. Next thing you know, they're going to say, there needs to be a fifth fight. Max is the greatest chin of all time. He's never been knocked down and got hit for 5 rounds against Dustin Poirier, who slept Conor easily. I think it has to do with the stamina, honestly. I think the better stamina you have, the better chin you have. I got to think about that a little bit more and see if there's a correlation. Who else has really good stamina? So look, I think that really makes sense. I've never thought of it like that before. Max Holloway, great stamina, great chin. Tony Ferguson, great stamina, great chin. Who else has great stamina? Nate Diaz, great stamina, great chin. Who else is known for their cardio? Who else is known for Kamaru Usman, great stamina, great chin. Jon Jones, we haven't really seen his chin tested. But yeah, I really believe there's a correlation between good stamina and chin. Marab, great example, Adam, great example. Who poses more of a threat to Jon Jones, Gane or Francis? I think probably Francis. But I love both those fights. And I just want to see Jon Jones at heavyweight. I put that in the title. We might as well talk about it now. I really want to see Jon Jones at heavyweight. And I believe he will probably fight the winner of UFC 270 main event, Ciryl Gane, Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight title. I believe Jon Jones will most likely fight the winner in the summer of 2022. But I mean, for me, the fight that I'm dying to see is Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones. I want to see Jon Jones try to take on that ungodly power of Francis Ngannou. Honestly, I'm dying to see it. If Jones were to mess up in 2022, do you think he'd get cut? It depends, man. It depends. If he messes up pretty bad, I think he gets cut. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say at this point. Rashad on the comeback, your thoughts? Disgusting. Eagle FC is disgusting. I will not be watching Eagle FC. I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday. But Eagle FC is just dragging the corpses, the retired MMA corpses, back into the cage. Who wants to see Rashad Evans fight again? Who wants to see Diego Sanchez fight again? I don't. I don't at all. And Eagle FC is just dragging these guys out of their MMA graves and putting them on display just because of name value. Bigfoot Silva, thank God they pulled him from the fight. That was the most grotesque matchmaking I've ever seen in my entire life. Why would they match Bigfoot Silva up with, now I forgot his name that quick, kickboxer. I forgot that quick. Bigfoot, Tyron Spong. I don't even need to Google it. Why would they match him up with Tyron Spong? Bigfoot Silva hasn't won a fight since like 2011. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. Eagle FC is a sham organization, and I know Habib runs it, and everyone loves Habib, but seriously, and I know they need people, and these guys need money, but I really don't want to see this type of, who honestly wants to see Diego Sanchez fight again? Let me put that in the chat. Actually, I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. Do you want to see Diego Sanchez fight again? Let me know, guys, because I'm genuinely curious. And make sure you vote properly. Be very careful with your votes. Because I don't. RDA's next opponent, I would love to see him against Michael Chandler. Or maybe even a Tony Ferguson rematch might make sense. I wouldn't mind seeing them fight again. It's been a few years since they fought. Let's see who else. Or a Rafael Fiziev fight, which has been talked about a little bit. I would love to see a Rafael Fiziev fight. I'm wondering who's going to vote yes for this poll. Guys, go vote in the poll in the chat right now. Do you want to see him fight again? But RDA versus Michael Chandler is a fight that I really want to see. Colby Covington, great chin, great cardio. There is a correlation between great stamina and great chin. We're the first to talk about it here. I'm going to cry if they make Tony versus Gillespie next. I am going to be sick to my stomach. So let me look through the lightweight division and tell you who I would accept to see Tony Ferguson against next. I wouldn't mind Tony Ferguson versus RDA. I wouldn't mind Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler makes a lot of sense. Tony Ferguson versus Gregor Gillespie, ew, absolutely not. I'm going to throw up if they make that fight. Tony Ferguson versus Rafael Fiziev, I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I would love to see that fight. I think it would be action-packed. I think it would be super fun. But honestly, the two opponents that I want to see Tony Ferguson take on next, there's two options for me, and there's only two options. If the UFC doesn't use one of these matchups, I'm going to be pissed. But I have a feeling they're not going to. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz. That's the fight that needs to get made. Or Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor. Who would not want to see Conor McGregor come back to fight Tony Ferguson? They could sell tickets to the press conference. I would pay $5 to watch Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor's press conference. Who would not? And the fight is going to be a lot of fun. And then also you get one of those guys back on the winning track, both on massive losing streaks. I mean, is there anyone in this chat that doesn't want to see Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor? I mean, it would be so much fun. I've dreamed of that fight for a while. It's almost happened a couple times when Khabib fell out in 2020. Conor was saying he was going to step in, but then when he was actually offered the fight, he turned it down. Doesn't surprise me. And that fight comes down to one thing. Does Conor stop Tony Ferguson early? Because if Conor does not stop Tony early, Tony will drown him in the later rounds. And that's a storyline and a fight that I would absolutely love to see. I mean, it would be amazing. And Conor would have the striking advantage. He's the more technical, accurate, powerful striker. But Tony's just such a wild man. Sign me up. Headline a pay-per-view with it. Two guys on losing streaks. I don't care. I would purchase that fight because that is the type of matchmaking that I'm looking for right now with Tony Ferguson. There's no title implications. It's two fan favorites. A lot of people love Conor. A lot of people love Tony. Two unique personalities and amazing attributes and skill sets from both guys that would produce an amazing, phenomenal fight. So it looks like 75% never want to see Diego Sanchez fight again. Thank you, guys. Eagle FC is trash for that. And why are they matching him up with Kevin Lee? Come on now. What are they doing? Do you know Yair was also out so long because of a USADA suspension as well? I did know that he did get a USADA suspension. Max won the second fight for sure. I don't know about that. I had Volk winning, I think 3, 4, and 5. Okay, top 5. Top 5. Hold on, I just got lost. Top 5 greatest UFC fighters ever. That's a tough one, man. I haven't been watching for the entire time. So mine would be Anderson. I'm not going to rank them. I'm just going to give you 5. Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, GSP, probably Randy Couture, even though I wasn't around to watch that era. And there's probably someone I'm forgetting. Maybe BJ Penn. I wasn't around for a lot of that era either. That's my best guess, but it's hard when you haven't watched the sport for every year, you know. What's up, Joey? Do you think Jon Jones ever fights again? Yes, I do. Jon Jones will fight in 2022. Mark my words, Fight Life Nation. If he doesn't end up cut by the UFC for committing a crime, or he doesn't end up in jail for committing a crime, I believe, mark it down right now, Fight Life Nation, we will see Jon Jones in a heavyweight title fight in 2022, barring any crazy criminal activity, USADA suspension, which could happen. But barring that, I think the UFC will get a deal made. I think Jon Jones wants to fight. He's been out for a while. They will book him, and it will sell a lot of pay-per-views. Agreed. Eagle FC is desperate. Same with Triad Combat. JDS is fighting Pulev. Disgusting. On a scale from 1 to 10, how humble is Habib? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Do you plan on going to a UFC event in the near future? I would love to, but I don't know. It depends. I mean, everything going on in the world right now is crazy. Plus, tickets are so expensive. I need to start a you can put like a donation goal on the screen. I need to start a donation goal so you guys can send me to a UFC event. I would love to go to a UFC event. Love to get some tickets, but they're just so expensive. And I'm not going to a UFC event and sitting up in the nosebleeds. I've been to 3 events and I've gotten amazing tickets for all 3 events. I went to UFC 244, which I've talked about before, bought amazing tickets. I think they were $650 a piece. I think something like that, maybe even a little bit more than that. I don't remember exactly. But I will be going, but maybe end of 2022 or early 2023. We'll see. But I really do want to go. And other than the barrier of just being so expensive, and then you got to buy a hotel on top of that, travel there, all that type of stuff. It's like getting to be like, $2,000 to $5,000 depending on how nice, everything you get travel wise, hotel wise, ticket wise, gets to be very, very expensive. I don't care, just like watching MMA fights. Hooker fights unranked Nasrat after losing to DP and Chandler. Tony's on a 3-fight skid. They're talking about feeding him to Gillespie. Give him Tony fun fights like Conor and Nate Diaz. Agreed 100%. I only want to see Diego versus Fabia. I'm down for that. If Eagle FC booked Diego Sanchez versus Josh Fabia, I would pay $50 for that pay-per-view. And I don't buy freak show fights. I would never buy a freak show fight. I don't even watch them. I would pay $50 for that pay-per-view. That'd be amazing. I don't know what it would turn into, though. I'm definitely down for that. Give Tony like someone like Bobby Green. That'd be fun, too, but I prefer the other options. Nate versus Tony. Didn't Bobby Green retire? I don't think so. Bobby Green is back. Did you see the new picture of Conor? He looks like he weighs 200 pounds. I did see a couple pictures of him. Conor's always trying to make himself look big. But yeah, he did look huge in those pictures. No, Aloe Quinta retired. Bobby Green is still fighting. Bobby Green retired Aloe Quinta with his hands. Brutalized him in that fight. Kevin Lee by sub in the first round. Yeah, I think Kevin Lee beats him. I don't know how. Diego's super durable. Didn't Weasel score Max Volk 2 as a draw? I have no idea. 1 GSP, 2 Jones, 3 Demetrius Johnson, 4 Aldo Silva. I like all those. See, I wasn't very good at thinking right off the top of my head. Aldo is definitely in there as one of the top UFC fighters of all time, if not the top UFC fighter of all time. Probably not going to get the top spot, but still think he belongs in that top 5. Imagine if they made Jones versus Dawkins. Dawkins is a cop and Jones is a criminal. Okay. We thought about going to 271, but 2 tickets in a hotel on a subpar card right now. I don't know. Yeah, that sucks, man. That really does suck. Hopefully they add some more fights. So, guys, keep the questions coming in the chat. I don't know how long I'm going to go tonight, but as long as we keep getting questions, I'll keep going. UFC 273 is being targeted for the Barclays Center in New York, Brooklyn, New York. I believe that the main event is probably going to be Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling being from New York. I think he's from Rhode Island or something like that. I don't remember exactly where he's from. Let me actually Google that. Either way, he's from New York. I can't remember where he's from. Let's see. Uniondale, New York, wherever the hell that is. Either way, he's from New York. He lives in New York, trains in New York. They are going to book Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling on that UFC 273 card 100%, and Sterling is going to get finished in front of his home state fans, which I think is hilarious. But definitely now you can mark it down. UFC 273, Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling's on that card. It's probably going to be the main event, but it may be the co-main. Oliveira versus Volkanovsky prediction. I think Oliveira submits him. Oliveira's too big, too strong. I think Volkanovsky is super. I don't want to say he's careless on the ground, but if you make them same mistakes he made against Ortega, and Ortega's very good and very quick too. I just think Oliveira has a step on Ortega. I think Oliveira would have finished Volk, but it's hard to say. I actually love that fight, and that's not a fight I really thought of before. If Aldo wins the bantamweight title, he'd be #1 of all time. Agreed. Went to UFC 268 and easily spent over 1,400, but don't regret it. Yeah, man, it's amazing going to the events. I went to 244 in New York, and it was so much fun, and it was so expensive. It just sucks that it's so expensive. I mean, but I don't regret going to any of my events, and it costs more. It costs more to go to a pay-per-view than it is like a fight night. For me, I have to have great tickets, so I have to get great tickets. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point of even going? Rather watch it on TV. Let me X out of this tab I got going on here. Guys, I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to post a link when this live stream ends. But when this live stream is over, I want you to go check out my latest video, The Best Fights of 2021. I greatly appreciate it. It seems like those videos don't get a lot of views, the top 5 videos. But I would appreciate it when this stream is over if you guys would go check it out. I'll remind you at the end of the stream. But what other super fights are interesting? I'd love to see Usman versus Adesanya, but that's never going to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing Yuri Prochazka versus Jon Jones at heavyweight. I know that's a weird fight to even mention, but I would love to see it. Brandon Moreno versus Petr Yan, and not really. I wouldn't mind seeing Petr Yan versus Alexander Volkanovsky, but I feel like Petr Yan is the perfect size for bantamweight. So we'll see. Aldo could be a champ at bantamweight if there was no Yan. I'd probably pick Aldo to be the champion at bantamweight if there was no Yan. Who would you pick in an O'Malley versus Vera rematch? I'd probably pick Marlon Vera. It's hard to pick against him. He's fought elite competition, looked good against Aldo even though he lost. Had some wrestling deficiencies, some takedown defense deficiencies. In the Frankie Edgar fight. But he's got great leg kicks. He's ever improving. I think he would look to target Sean O'Malley's legs again and possibly get him stretchered out of the cage again, maybe with or without flash KOing him with elbows. But I would pick Marlon Vera, but I think it's a 50-50 fight, maybe 55, 55-45. I could see Oliveira versus Volk happening in late 2022. Yan has so much on his plate to fight Moreno or Volkanovsky. Oliveira ain't fighting Usman. No way. Oliveira would get ragdolled by Usman. I don't even think he'd be able to submit Usman. Usman not fighting Izzy. Yuri versus Izzy is a fun fight. Very true. Yuri versus Izzy would be a lot of fun. Glover smashes Izzy. Glover Teixeira would absolutely maul Israel Adesanya. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, because I think I think most people should believe that. I watched the whole video before the stream. Appreciate you, French fries. Appreciate you very, very much, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I had some good picks on there. Aldo, I feel upsets Yan. Aldo or Aljo? We'll see. I just watched it. You had Chandler in 2 of your top fights, and he lost both. Yeah, it is what it is. One of the things you can't deny is Chandler isn't in boring fights. He definitely is not. It's weird because I've watched MMA for so long. I remember watching World Series of Fighting and thinking one day Justin Gaichi probably going to be in the UFC. And I remember watching Bellator and thinking one day Michael Chandler may make it to the UFC. But I actually never thought, I thought it was slightly I knew it was very possible for Gaichi. But I thought Chandler may stay with Bellator for his entire career. So I'm happy that we got to see him over, into the UFC towards the end of his career with still, some time left in the sport. Because he had some great fights. The Eddie Alvarez fights were amazing. Off the top of my head, I can't think of some other ones. But Chandler went out there and slept Benson Henderson. I think it was his last fight in Bellator. And as soon as that happened, I was looking forward to him making his way over to the UFC. I kept my fingers crossed. I know he always wanted to be there. I hope this is the trend of the UFC picking up some guys who are big talent outside the UFC, who sometimes you feel like you might never see in the UFC because you just want to see them against some of the UFC fighters. Hi everyone, what's up? What's up everyone? Or hi everyone. Sorry, what's up Kevin is what I meant to say. I had a little bit of a confusion there. I agree. Glover would destroy Izzy. Glover 100%. Brandon Moreno is a negative 163 as a steal going into Max Bettit. Do it, my friend. I'm just a little bit weird that Davison got dominated and wanted this trilogy. I'm sorry, Aljo. My bad. I don't think Aljo. Let's go. Came to my desktop and autoplay took me here. I just hope Tony doesn't get matched up against any more power punchers because I can't handle seeing him lose by KO instead of decision. I don't want him to match him up with Gregor Gillespie, who's just going to try to take him down and hold him. Finn and Jake. Have I seen you in a live stream before? I don't know. But happy to have you here. Happy to have you here. I don't know if you just found the channel or by chance, or you've been here for a while and never stopped in a live stream, but appreciate you. I'm glad you ended up here too. Nope. Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. I think Oliveira starts finding success with his pressure against Gaichi, and Gaichi worries too much about the BJJ threat. Starts covering up. I noticed that Gaichi lowers his head quite a bit. Yeah, he was... I think him and Trevor Whitman, and it's easy to say this in hindsight, but I saw this going into the fight as well. I know I have no evidence of that because I didn't have a channel then. I think Gaichi needed to just risk it all and press Khabib and throw power shots. And I know that's easier said than done. Khabib does not fight well moving backwards. He doesn't have good shots. He gets sloppy shots moving backwards. He gets clipped up a lot on the feet when he's moving backwards. And Gaichi was just so scared that he was just backing up with his head down, his hands at his waist, waiting for the takedown. And he was getting himself exhausted. He was tired in the second round already. I think you need to really press Khabib and look to hit him with power shots early in the fight to have success. So I think he may have learned from that and make adjustments in an Oliveira fight. I think Gaichi covers up, Oliveira grabs a standing guillotine or Darce choke. Who knows? I mean, Oliveira is so versatile. So versatile. Gracie, Keator, GSP, DJ Silver. Who's DJ Silver? Oh, DJ and then Silva probably. We might see Chandler in UFC for a long time doing commentary and backstage stuff. We will see. Only time will tell. Potential matchups for Sandhagen's next fight. I had him winning the Dillashaw fight, by the way. I had him winning the Dillashaw fight as well. I want to see Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font next. I did a full bantamweight matchmaker video. So you can check that out on the channel if you want. But my pick for Sandhagen was to see him fight Rob Font next. Tony beats Connor. I would love to see it and find out. What are your thoughts on Cejudo training Figueroa and Jones? I don't really have any thoughts on Cejudo, to be honest. I guess it's cool, but I mean, I'm not a big, massive believer that Cejudo is some elite of the elite. You know, he had a couple good fights and then he dipped out when the division was really getting the hardest. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just I don't really have any reaction to it, to be honest. Love your content, bro. You're a pro from Canada. Will we see Khabib? Will we see the GSP Khabib super fight? Peter Fruit Loops, thank you for your support, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. That means a lot to me. I love hearing that stuff. When people comment on the videos and say, man, I really like this video. I enjoyed this video. It's really what motivates me to continue just making this stuff. So thank you so much for your kind words. I hate to break your heart. We will never see GSP versus Khabib. It will never happen. Khabib's retired. GSP's retired. Unless they both go broke, which I don't see happening. GSP's fought one time in the last, 8 years? He fought Bisping in 2017, 2016, something like that. Unless they both go broke and need some money and they fight when they're 40 years old, we are never going to see that fight. I hate to break your heart. It's not going to happen. The UFC has missed the opportunity with so many great fights. I wanted to see GSP versus Silva for a long time. I'm sure a lot of you guys wanted to see that as well. I wanted to see Anderson Silva versus Jon Jones for a long time. The UFC missed that as well. There's so many fights that should have been made. And once it gets to a certain point, it's, you know, it is what it is, and it sucks. First African champ to lose the belt. I'll say Kamaru Usman. Just by laws of averages, you can't win forever. Team Elevation Fight Camp has good strikers and wrestlers, but barely any BJJ. Usman Blades are wrestlers. Sandhagen, Gaichi, Overeem, and Rose are kickboxers. Good observation, my friend. What's up, Indigo? Hello, Joey. What do you think about Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez? We actually talked about it earlier in the stream. Disgusting, grotesque, Eagle FC. We all should not watch it at all. Disgusting matchmaking. I don't know why they're matching some of these guys up. They had Bigfoot Silva scheduled against Tyron Smong. Thank God that got canceled. It's just a desperate attempt at a cash grab with well-known names. Diego Sanchez should not be fighting Kevin Lee. That fight should not be scheduled. They will probably book that event in Florida, and Florida does not care about regulation. And, you know, I hope you don't watch it. I encourage everyone in the chat who's listening to me, if you care about me at all and you care about the content at all, do not watch Eagle FC Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez. If you have to, catch it on YouTube after the fact. Do not watch it. Testing you, Joey. Can you name 5 UFC fighters who were Olympic medal winners? Ronda, Cejudo, DC, Ronda, Cejudo, DC, all retired at this point in time. I can't think of any more. Let me look through and see if something jogs a memory. Nope, I don't think I even can pick out anymore, honestly. Maybe Holly Holm, boxing, I don't know. Is that even an Olympic sport? That's the best I got. That's the best I got, my friend. That's the great thing, and I love doing these live streams because anyone can pretend like they know what they're talking about in a video because they do a lot of research and read up on a lot. But you come in these live streams and you be able to tell if I have no clue what the hell I'm talking about. Whitman might not know how to approach Oliveira because the lack of BJJ in their camp. It could be. I mean, they got to still be training BJJ. They probably have guys who are unknown who are really good BJJ guys where they bring guys in. Who wins, Askarov or Kai Kara France? I think either Askarov wins by decision or Kai Kara France stops him. I'll go Askarov. Who fights Rose? Carla Esparza will be fighting Rose. Maybe UFC 272 or 273. Whitman approached Burns well, but Burns had a bad fight IQ and laid on his back for 3 minutes right after partially dropping Usman. Yeah, terrible decision. He should have jumped up. France wins by KO or loses a decision. That's funny. I just said that same exact thing. I didn't see your message. If it's the same Sanchez that beat up Mickey Gall, he might have a chance. I guess so, man. I mean, Diego Sanchez just left the hospital like 2 weeks ago. And they're booking him for a fight in like 2 months. I guess maybe that's, I mean, guys got to make money. It is what it is. DC, you came in second place, I think. Yeah, he said Olympic medal winners. That doesn't matter. You didn't say gold medal. And Dan Henderson. Good ones. I didn't, for some reason. Who wins, Rose or Carla? That's a tough fight to pick. Carla dominated her not that long ago. I'll go Rose, but I might change my mind. I might even change my mind by the video I do. Every champion that's going to lose their belt in 2022. I'm going to try to predict every champion. You're not going to be able to hold me to those predictions. I may change my mind mid-year, though. But the Carla Rose rematch is very enticing, honestly. It's super intriguing. You have Carla, who has a dominant win over, but it was so long ago. It's been so long. I'm curious, can she defend the takedowns? I mean, we haven't seen much grappling out of her since that fight, honestly. I like Carla. I don't think Carla's a bad bet. I mean, I think Carla can definitely win. But right now I'm going Rose, but I may change my mind by the time the fight comes around. Let me see something real quick. Okay, I'm back. Joey, this MMA break is boring. I know. 2 more weeks of this, guys. 2 more weeks of no MMA. Luckily, I'm here. You guys can come in this. You guys can come in these streams and talk to me, and we can talk about the future. Really, the future of MMA and the UFC. I believe we are in a golden age of MMA. So many great fights to look forward to in 2022. I could list a million. I already did a video, top 5 fights to make the UFC must make in 2022. But soon enough, before you know it, the snap of a finger, we will be watching Giga Chacaze versus Calvin Keator, and that is an amazing main event. Giga Chikadze gets a chance to really prove himself and see if he can hang with the top guys. I like that video idea, bro. Fighters that will lose their belts in 2022. Awesome. Yep. I'm going to go through each division. I'm going to go through each division and try to predict how their year goes in 2022. Maybe they keep the belt and maybe they retain the belt. Joe Selecki choked out Cerrone. The guy can't win inside or outside of the cage these days. Oh, at the grappling event that they had tonight, I think it was. Is that what you're talking about? Earth Rocker 89. Thank you for coming to the stream, by the way, my friend. Jorge has his own MMA promotion, Gamebred AFC, and he gave out crypto as bonuses. Okay. 2 weeks of hell. Agreed. Surprised that Colby hasn't called out Jorge Inbred instead of Gamebred. Sounds like something Colby would say. That's a good nickname. That's a good nickname. Nick D signed a new contract. I didn't see that, but okay. I'm assuming you're saying Nick Diaz, not Nate Diaz. But I'll have to check that out. Is Giga going to beat the brakes off of Keator? Right now, as it stands, I'm leaning Giga, but that's a very tough fight to pick. I think Calvin Keator can win, but I think a lot of people are high on Giga just because of the big win over Barboza. I'm Googling this Nick Diaz thing. I don't see anything about a new contract. So maybe you saw that online somewhere. I feel like some people make up a lot of bullshit. Who will Bobby Green fight next? Bobby Green deserves a big fight. Realistically, Bobby Green should fight like Brad Riddell, maybe, or maybe a Diego Ferreira. There's probably someone else I'm not thinking of, but I would like to see the Brad Riddell fight for Bobby Green. Get him a top 15 opponent. He deserves it. Nate D, I mean, where did you see that? I haven't seen that either. I think you're misunderstanding something because Nate Diaz's contract was automatically extended. We've seen Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. Who do you think the next pop culture figure will fight in the UFC? I hope none, man. I really do. I'm not really into it. If I had to guess, I can't even hazard a guess, man. I don't even know. I hope none, man. I'm tired of these freak show fights. I mean, Brock Lesnar was a little bit of a different story just because he had that wrestling background. Heavyweight was lackluster at the time and still is. But CM Punk was an absolute joke. And if I would have had a YouTube channel then, I would have been crapping all over it. CM Punk, do you remember that gallop he had coming out to fight Mickey Gall? What a joke. They single-handedly selected Mickey Gall as a beatable guy for CM Punk, and he just got absolutely smashed. Thoughts on Lad versus Aldana being announced? Was that announced? That's a decent fight. I like that fight. I like that. I think that's a good matchup. Aspen Ladd, that last fight was just god-awful. God-awful. Who does she even fight now? I can't even think of it. Norma Dumont, right? Aspen Ladd. Yeah, Norma Dumont. What a terrible fight that was. Ew. Ew. I don't even want to think of that. I thought about making a top 5 worst fights of 2021. But there's too many of them to even remember, the bad ones. And I would have to do like big ones, like the Tate versus Ketlin Vieira, the Norma Dumont versus Aspen Ladd. Let's see. Okay. Do you follow boxing? What do you think about the destruction of Woodley and Temfamio? I don't know what Temfamio is. I don't follow boxing too much, especially don't follow freak show fights. But Woodley embarrassed himself, and I don't think Woodley will ever be able to redeem himself. And the guy has just looked desperate for cash in the last year or two. It really is sad. The massive decline. I think there will be shame, to come for generations for Tyron Woodley. I mean, he got the tattoo on himself that he loves him, and then he got brutally KO'd by him. And then usually I don't agree with DC that much, but the fact that he's paying people to meme him, it just goes to show, you know, it really goes to show. It goes to show how that really affected him. Keep the questions, guys, coming in the chat. The clucking fight, yeah. If you guys were here for my live stream for Miesha Tate versus Aspen Ladd versus Norma Dumont. Aspen Ladd was like clucking the whole fight. It was so weird. When Miesha Tate fought Ketlin Vieira, I can't believe they acted like Miesha Tate was elite. She looked like she was playing with puppets. Jake Paul probably supposed to train MMA with Khabib. Do you feel Robert beats Izzy like Robert Whittaker for an upset? I think it's very possible. But as of right now, I'm with Izzy. I'm sticking with Izzy right now. So it's one of those things where it's hard to guess. Robert Whittaker has looked amazing, but I haven't closed the door on picking Robert Whittaker. Let me put it that way. So don't be surprised when my prediction video comes out if I somehow pick now I forgot what I was talking about. Pick Robert Whittaker. DC Jake's beating these dudes up so bad they're making fun of themselves. The $5,000 meme contest. Yeah, I think it was his way of trying to say, "Oh, I'm not, you know, it didn't hurt me that it hurt him bad. That hurt him emotionally bad." And I don't mean like, you know, like something with his head. I mean it hurt him deep. That cut him deep for sure. He will bring shame to his family for generations to come. That's exactly what I was saying. Tyron Woodley his grandchildren will be embarrassed of him. You know, his grandchildren will be so embarrassed. I mean, if I was his children, I'd be so embarrassed. You got KO'd by Jake Paul. Come on now. And he did it for money. I mean, he probably knew it was going to happen. And he didn't even go out there and fight both times. Joey, what happened to Herb Dean? Dude must have gone blind. I don't know. Herb Dean has become a terrible referee. I don't know what happened. I think he's just checked out. He's been working it for so many years. He's just checked out of the sport. Does Brunson win? Don't hold me to it, but yes. Guys, do me this. True or false questions. True or false questions. I love true or false questions. So start spamming the chat with some true or false questions. And I'll get back to it in a second. I'm just pulling something up real quick. Looks like we picked up 2 new subscribers. We are at 1,885 subscribers. Guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, if you publicly subscribe, now you'll get your name will pop up right here in the live stream. So if you go publicly subscribe right now, you'll pop up in the live stream. So great job with the top 5 fights video. I'm glad you liked it, Kevin. Thank you very much. Does Strickland win? Strickland versus Jack Hermansson. I'm going to say yes. Strickland wins. Izzy would crush Hamzat? Probably. I'll say true. True or false? Giga has more padded record than Khabib. I'm not sure on that one. I'll have to pass on that one. I'll say false, but I'm not sure. I can't remember Giga's record too much, but I know he has a lot of no names on it. What happened in the Pena versus Nunes rematch? I think. Oh, what happens? I was about to correct you, and I read it wrong. I think Nunes trains much harder. I think she comes into the fight much more prepared for the fight, and I think she stops her via TKO. I'm going to say Amanda Nunes, 2nd round TKO. She redeems herself, and maybe we get a trilogy, or maybe we get a Valentina Shevchenko fight. Which, you know, if Nunes loses again, her career is over. She might as well go retire. I don't know who she would fight next. She's just lost the drive at that point. Her skill set has fallen off a cliff. And I even said in my prediction video, I picked Amanda Nunes, but I said I have a path to victory for Pena. And it was basically Nunes has fallen off a cliff. She's lost motivation. Go out there, put the pace on her, tire her out, and eventually finish her in the later rounds. Kind of true, but not really because it happened in the 2nd round. Khabib will pay his fighters in Bitcoin. I've heard that. But not seen any super detailed news articles or anything. But would not surprise me. I know Kevin Lee was getting paid in Bitcoin, something like that. To be honest, I have no desire to see Kevin Lee versus Diego Sanchez. I have no desire to see that fight. I think it's a disgusting matchup. Diego was just on his deathbed like 2 weeks ago, and now they're matching him up. Terrible. I don't know what you're saying. TAU. True or false? Chael Sonnen is the smartest guy in the room. False. Absolutely false. He's not. He is not. Tai Tuivasa knocks out Derek Lewis. True or false? I'm going to say false. I say Derek Lewis knocks out Tai Tuivasa. It's true. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Keep out. Thank you. Guys, if there's anyone in here who hasn't already liked the stream, do me a favor. Go and like the stream this very second. I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer. We're going to go at least 1 hour. And maybe I might do a stream earlier tomorrow. I might do a stream earlier in the day tomorrow. So I'm going to put a poll out in the community tab. And depending on how many people vote, I might try to do a stream like in the midday tomorrow. Somewhere around there. A time that I've never done before. Did you see Cage Fury? No, I did not see Cage Fury. What happened other than Cowboy Cerrone getting submitted? I'm not sure his name is, but Rasha, he's undefeated, 170, tall Russian dude we spoke about. Okay, I'll have to see it. I don't know. I don't know the name. But very interesting. What happened, Homework? What happened in it? Fill us in. I know Cowboy got submitted. Somebody else said that. I'm not a big fan of watching those. I'm just not into, crazy into those jiu-jitsu events. I guess it can be interesting, but not really too much to me. True or false, some fighters deserve less pay for their performance. Probably true, honestly, but I can never root, for me, I can never root for somebody getting paid, I can never root against it. So I'm always on the side of people getting paid. But I get what you're saying. Some people just go out there and put on the shittiest performances ever. Magny got guillotined. Who did Magny go against? I'm sad fighters such as Zabit and Tatiana Suarez injuries are stopping them from being champs. It sucks. I mean, Zabit had massive upside, and he's just been out forever. Sean Brady defeated Craig Jones, the second best in the world. Kevin Holland lost via decision. Carla Esparza fight got stopped because of a cut. Who was cut? Was it Carla or her opponent? I didn't realize all these MMA stars, not stars, MMA fighters, UFC fighters were on Fury FC or whatever the hell it's called. But thank you for filling us in, Homework. How have you been, my friend? How have you been? Well, guys, I'm going to go for another minute so we at least hit an hour. As long as we have questions, I will keep going. But there's not a lot to talk about. What are your guys, before I leave, I know I put out the video, and I'm going to post it in the chat beforehand. But what were your guys' favorite fights of 2021? Put it in the chat right now. I'm curious, is there any I missed in my video? And if you haven't watched my video yet, obviously you can go watch it after this. And I will actually post it, the link in here, so you guys can go check it out. Let me copy the link. Sean Brady won. What the F? That's the equivalent of Conor McGregor dethroning GSP. Really? I didn't know who he was going against. What's next for Tony? I think there's multiple options. Michael Chandler, Rafael Dos Anjos, but I want to see him against Nate Diaz or Tony Ferguson. They're the only two fights the UFC should make, and if they don't make those, I think it's a travesty. Gaichi versus Chandler, fight of the year. I made a video about my top 5 favorite fights. I'm going to post a link in the chat right before I leave, which I'm getting ready to leave here in a minute. I might do another live stream in the earlier in the day tomorrow. We'll see. Craig Jones is only second to Gordon Ryan. I did not know that. I'm not familiar with all these jiu-jitsu guys. But you'll have to go watch that video and let me know what you think of it. Adesanya versus Yan is such a technical striking battle. What's crazy is the commentary was so on Adesanya, acting like Adesanya was dominating the fight. And Jan Blachowicz was winning the majority of the fight. I think I scored like 4 out of 5 rounds for Jan Blachowicz, if not 5 out of 5 rounds. Sean O'Malley versus that Portuguese kid. Who are we talking about here? I don't know who we're talking about. Derek Lewis versus Francis is the worst ever. Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my entire life. Disturbing fight for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to leave. If I do a stream tomorrow, afternoon ish, who's gonna come to that stream? I'm trying to figure out a time that I should do a stream tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it super late or anything, but I was thinking about doing it a little bit earlier than usual. I don't usually do earlier streams. So let me know in the chat what time. Give me Eastern time. I know you guys have all these different time zones, but I figured I might get on here tomorrow. Just have a random midday stream. Earlier. I like to try out different times. I'm usually coming on the same time, or very late for the fights. Okay, keep out. Appreciate you. There's really not much to do for us MMA fans right now, so might as well get on here and talk about MMA. Talk about the future, the past, whatever. Robert versus Izzy 2. What are your thoughts? I think Robert Whittaker can upset Izzy in a rematch. But I think Izzy may go out there and wreck him again. Honestly, it's hard to say. Moreno versus Figgy 1 last year was my fave fight. It was a great fight. I will be there. Thank you, Fast. Poirier versus Connor. Gaichi versus Chandler. Usman versus Colby. Nunes versus Pena. What is that fight? That's fights you like? If I remember, I'm here 100. If I'm awake, I'll be here. I'm an hour ahead Eastern. I wanted to try to do a little bit earlier one. So, I don't know. We'll see. But, guys, look for it on the channel. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be somewhere between, I'll say, between 4 and 8 Eastern time. I was trying to do it a little bit earlier, so maybe like 4 or 5 Eastern time. I'm not 100% sure yet. Who knows? I may even jump on here at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to try out different live stream times, and I'll try in the future to do more random live streams, which I was talking about earlier. Okay, guys. Now before I leave, let me go check this real quick. Before I leave, do me a favor, guys. Like the stream. Also, I'm posting in the chat right now the video I just did on my channel. If you guys could do me a favor, go check out that video after the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Go check it out. Go like the video. I appreciate all you guys showing up to this random live stream. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your night, and I should see you tomorrow. But if by some chance I don't stream tomorrow, have a happy new year. I'll talk to you guys later.